Guys, the media, focus on those words first, then you...
You can start, boss. MX Media. MX Media.
Zoom. 1, 2.
Why did I MX Media?
Is this side okay? Are we set? Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, comrade. Good afternoon. Most of us here, we are members of the press, and we request that we start with English, then later on we shall do Uganda. At the end, that's when we shall have a group photo holding the banner, have those words clearly filmed. Okay. We start. We are going to go.
Thank you so much. My name is Emmanuel Nahamiar Guru. I'm a national coordinator, NRM Youth Cadres Revolutionary Front. Today we stand here, speak to the press about issues affecting our party, about issues affecting our country. As you all know, we have been in an election which we had successfully, and we have a president, a new elected president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Today we felt that we speak challenges affecting our young people, affecting us, so that the newly elected president can take charge and clean this country. Because in this country, we have been attacked by very many things, of which include corruption, which starts within our party. And as we fight corruption, we need to start from our party. We need to have an audit of what is happening. We need to have an audit of the money, grassroots money, that was released to help people transport voters. And you have seen we had a raw voter turnout, which is highly condemned by cadres of this country, by cadres of NRM. So as NRM youth, we think the problems and the challenges that are affecting young people are general. They don't segregate whether FDC or whichever party. We must stand as one family and fight the challenges that are affecting us. The challenge of corruption, the challenge of neglecting young people in the struggle. As young people, we feel that we have been neglected by the party. We feel that we should take charge of this country because we have been neglected for a very long time. As a party, we no longer have cadreship identification. Cadreship identification replacement has been has died at NRM. Why? We have very many cadres who are dying with knowledge that can help the party grow. We have very many cadres that can be recruited within this country, and we fight corruption that has taken up all public offices. As young people, we feel that this is the time we wage a war against corruption. And as we wage a war, our theme will be Reo Nereo, meaning that today, the day is today, we shall fight corruption, we shall make this country a better place to live in for our fellow young people and for the generations to come. As young people, we feel that it's time to take charge of this country, because this country has been manipulated by very many foreign people. They are taking up the affairs of the country, yet we got independence a long time ago. So as young people, we feel that we are not independent, both financially, politically, economically, and socially. We need to get independence. We need to get back our independence. We need to take charge of this country. I call upon fellow young people, identify this cause as a very, very serious cause and come on board. And from today, we are going to move to different institutions of higher learning, spreading the gospel of fighting corruption, because if a corrupt-free state starts with me. We are going to spread the gospel of claiming independence, because we are not independent. We are going to start, and from today and onwards, we are going to wage a war, and this war is not going to end today or tomorrow. It will be a consistent war until we get Uganda free from corruption. Thank you so much. Emmanuel Guri is my name.
Thank you so much. Ivan Mujiche is my name. Uganda being one of the countries in Africa with the highest population of the young people, making it 78% of the total population, and those between the ages of 18 to 30 being 27%. This exposes Uganda as a nation and Uganda as a family to a timing bomb. Because as highlighted that Uganda is seated on a timing bomb of the youth bulge. What does the youth bulge mean? This literally means that a country has the highest number of young people between the ages of 18 and below, then between the ages of 30 and below. And I'm talking about the unemployment status of this country, Uganda. As very many people are still posturing themselves in front of the president, seeking for appointments, running away with bags of money, and what my colleague has termed as corruption. We as the young people of the revolution, we as the young people of Uganda, we have come to reclaim that where are the jobs of Uganda going? Are we still selling the jobs to non-nationals? And as President Museveni is still welcoming the foreigners, the Chinese, into our country, we are still questioning what is their main agenda. Because if we are to read the statistics, 60% of the labor that is hired by the Chinese, these are their fellow Chinese, and the 40% of the labor that is hired by the Chinese, these are the Ugandans. But what are they earning? You are hiring 60% Chinese and giving them 1.5 monthly, and hiring 40% of the Ugandans and paying them 6,000 a day. And you're telling that we are trying to fight unemployment. That is a lie. So it is on that note that we as the youth of this nation, Uganda, we have come to appeal that the rising unemployment status quo of this country does not only expose us, the youth of Uganda, to a threat, but the economy and the nation to a threat. What am I talking about? Is that if youth continuously be on streets looking for jobs, 78% of the graduates, fresh graduates from Makerere, Chambogo University, Busitema, Gulu, when they graduate, they go on streets and they start fighting, looking for survival. And when they continuously fight, when the government is not helping them, and the government was blindfolded, His Excellency, you were blindfolded by a program called the Myogan PDM. People are not receiving 1 million. because this has been diverted to Wendy and other platforms, which tax that money that you give to the Ugandans, which is supposed to be 1 million, and people receive 600,000, 500,000. What are we fighting for? If this is really the agenda that we are meant to fight unemployment via those programs, then His Excellency Kaguta Museveni, you need to combat and audit those people that usher out that money. It is on that note that we as the young people, we as the young cadres of the revolution, we are calling upon and we are suggesting for only one measure. That if we are calling about the foreign investors to come into our country to invest, let them be given a maximum limit or a minimum limit that you are supposed to employ 75% of the Ugandans and pay them a subsistence wage. Which wage am I talking about? Pay a wage to a Ugandan youth which is capable to maintain their living standards, because you cannot pay 6,000 to a Ugandan youth and you pay a Chinese 25,000 and you expect that you're raising the employment status of this country. Therefore, this raises a question to the Ministry of Gender. You people are sleeping on jobs. You people are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, because you are deceiving the youth that you're creating employment. In the real sense, you're creating employment for your own sisters, brothers, nephews, grandparents, and cousins. It is on that note that His Excellency Kaguta Museveni, we as the youth, we are not chasing about the money, we are not chasing about politics, but we are saying that elevate the youth. He has called it independence, and we are continuously asking you, make the youth independent through the programs which you advocate for and which you advocated for. I beg to submit. I remain Ivan Mujiji. Thank you.
First of all, I want to. Good morning. I'm called Hawasa Daniel. I'm the cadre of the National Resistance Movement. And my colleagues, they have already talked about corruption. What we need from the president is to have audit in grassroots mobilization money only. Because what is at secretariat is something else. We need audit. President of the Republic of Uganda, we need audit at NRM Secretariat. Because there is the media here were crying. They were not paid. The personnel, the institutions of the Secretariat, many of them people were not paid. Why? We need an audit at Secretariat, President. Another issue which I wanted to comment about, recently, we saw the European Parliament discussing the past elections of this country. And we are saying we got independent in 1962. As Uganda, we are independent. We had observers here. So we don't want any lectures from European Union. We don't want any lectures. And we are saying on Wednesday, we are going to take a letter today to the AIGP, requesting a protest walk to embassy.
European Union.
And we are saying all you should come and join us. On Wednesday, we shall have a protest walk on embassy of European Union. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Celeste Mchara is my name, and I'm the former chairman, National Resistance Movement, Mackay University Business School. I also subscribe to the National Youth Cadres Revolutionary Front. NRM being my party that groomed me, that taught me everything, I must face it and tell the truth. At NRM Secretariat, there are different directorates. We have the Director of Mobilization, we have the Directorate of Youth and Institutions, we have the other position like Secretary General, who is the supreme head of that Secretariat and reporting direct to the President, Museveni. But what happened during mobilization time, it was something different. We saw sagas which was full of corruption, full of nepotic tendencies, people recruiting their friends and drivers in those different directorates. For example, the Directorate of Youth and Institutions, we have the list here. Money was raised to facilitate the youth and the institutions but the money was taken by those people who have never been even youth cadres of NRM, who have never done anything for the party. We go to director communications. Of recent, we saw people on Twitter saying that they didn't get, and the people that were taken to Wachitura to see Mzee to be appreciated, this sport didn't even appear anywhere. They didn't even TikTok account that was trying to publicize our president. Your Excellency, sir, we know you're the chairman of the National Resistance Movement and the chairman of NRA. We request one thing. We want a forensic audit on all these directorates at the NRM Secretariat. For example, there was in digital register mobilization. Your Excellency raised over 10 billion. And these people had claimed they are going to mobilize over 18.5 million. So when we try to divide the 10 billion among the 18.5 billion, that was 540,000 shillings per voter. And the results we saw, they were different. Even if we add even the votes for opposition and even NRM, they don't reach 18.5 million turn up. So what happened to the money? Even on that day before that very day of election, you raised another 10 billion. And the voter turn up of the president was over 7 million. So what happened? What happened to that money? Where did that money go? So, Your Excellency, we don't want these people to come and parade themselves in front of you to lie you that they are mobilizing all these people. These people are just using this money to build mansions, because we are seeing mushrooming buildings in Kampala here. And when you're going to do research, these are directors of finance, these are directors of mobilization.
Yes.
And we as youth cadres, we have come up, we want to sanitize all these parts, the NRM Secretariat.
Yes.
We are not going to keep quiet over these issues, because NRM groomed us,
Yes.
it mattered us. We cannot say we are keeping quiet these problems. So, fellow youth of this country, this is a crying call. I call upon all of the youth of this country to come and join us, and we take charge of this country. I thank you and wish you good luck.
We are having this Uganda version.
Let me finalize with English. Then my name Muhaire, youth leader, representative of PWD's Kampala district. So as all know, war against corruption is winnable. No one should allow you also to come to you. Why are you attacking this one? So as youth, first of all, we are fighting for inclusion in every activity of the government. That is PDM. PDM, people from top offices, instead of using the cadres who are on ground, instead they are using their friends, their wives, their husbands to make the research on the ground and leaving the cadres on board, which we are fighting for now. Number two, as an employment, youth, they take big percentage in this country. But the problem, all of them, they are looking for what to eat. Those are the offices that have been empowered. Youth cadres, you are not empowered. I'm calling upon the president of Uganda, as you check very well, like electoral commission, you are the one who appoints the chairperson, but the chairperson goes ahead to appoint one to supervise the finances. Why can't you come up and also appoint the PS so that they can also supervise the finances? Because we don't know where the finances are going. Like now, recently, you see the BVVK machines. They came up, they didn't work, but they are paid for that money. So as cadres, we are fighting for our rights, because that money is a lot and a lot. Instead of helping the cadres, we have circles, we have associations which can empower cadres. Why can't you bring that money back to our general circles so that we can also empower other cadres on other ground? As of now, like PWDs, we have 5.5 million population. That is almost 13.2%. But all of them, they are from school. They are starting from scratches. You know, from Makerere University, then you go back to the village. Like now, you go back to Kazu. You're PWD, so means you'll be the song of the day on the village. You end up now going to the misuse of what? Of drugs. So we are calling upon, if the president is seeing us, please kindly converge. We want a dialogue, talk with the president, so that at least we iron out our issues. We see how we can fight corruption amongst our public offices. Public offices are people appointed, not voted, because powers are for people, not for appointments. So I call upon all cadres we have here. We know others are there, they are voiceless. We are here to talk about more issues, that is corruption, selfishness, greedy, and so tribalism in some offices. So that is what we are fighting for. We want a dialogue to talk our issues. We see because the chairman of the party is the chairman, and finally is the owner of all the people in the country. So we want to also talk about the parliament, so that at least also they have the finances, all the projects they're in, which you are young cadres. They have innovations, they have technology, which they can also be supported through the channels like the parliament, because parliament are being part of the people. So I call everyone to be part of the struggle. Thank you very much for good at my country.
There are no opportunities for questions.
No, we are going to ask
We're
questions.
going to ask, no worries.
I put Uganda
Briefly.
basebo ne banyabo amanya gange Emmanuel Nahamyaruguru, mukulembeze w'abavubuka mu kiwayi kino kyaffe ekya NRM Youth Cadres Revolutionary Front. Ekituleese wano olwaleero kwogera ku bizibu ebiruma eggwanga lyaffe n'abavubuka bonna okutwaliza wamu. Twayise mu kalulu mu mirembe era ne tufuna omukulembeze omupya, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, era tukuyozaayoza jjajja waffe. Ekituleese wano kubuulira ebizibu ebituyitamu ng'abavubuka, era bizibu bingi nnyo. Ekisookerwako obuli bw'enguzi buyingidde eggwanga lyaffe ne butusoomooza nnyo ng'abavubuka. Bwe twogera ku buli bw'enguzi tutandikira mu pate yaffe ya NRM. Ng'abavubuka twatudde ne tulaba nti bwe tuba tetuyingidde mu kintu kino oba ne tutandikawo revolution ey'okulwanyisa obuli bw'enguzi, bannaffe n'abalala b'emirembe egiddako bajja kuyita mu kusoomezebwa kw'amaanyi, oba n'eggwanga lyaffe ne tumaliriza nga tetukyalina. Kuba kati bannaffe, abavubuka bannaffe bamaze zi universities ne batuuka mu public offices ne bagula emirimu. Emirimu kati gyafuuka kya buguzi. Ekyokubiri, abavubuka bannaffe abali mu masomero, sente ze basasula nnyingi nnyo. Tolowooza nti ffe ng'abavubuka twalabawo free education eyajja ne President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, naye kati yaweddewo. Kati abaana basasula bisale, abazadde baffe basasudde bisale, abamu bali mu zirooni. Ffe ng'abavubuka twewaddeyo kugenda mu institutions zonna mu ggwanga lyonna nga tukondeminga oba nga tuvumirira corruption ekutejembe mu gwanga lyaffe, nga twadvocatinga free education eyali eze negenda kati tutandise okuddayo mabega gye twava. So ffe ng'abavubuka leero tusazeewo turonkinge this movement. Eno movement yegenda okutuwa emirembe okubeera mu ggwanga lyaffe. Mpita abavubuka mwenna mu ggwanga lyonna, oba wa NUP oba wa NRM oba wa FDC, kuba bino ebizibu bituruma ffenna tebimanyi pati, mujje mutweyungeko tulwanyise obuli bw'enguzi obukutejembe mu ggwanga lyaffe. Neyanziza neyanzige.
Banange ensonga ya protest work then they are audit. Banange amanya gange bampita habasadane ndi mukulembeze w'abavuka mu NRM. Ensonga ezange ziringa bbiri zinjagala kwogerako. Esooka twagala president nga bw'alina ababayizi b'esente mu bitongole ebirala aleeta omuntu ajja abaliyire sente za NRM ezafuluma zonna okuva mu akalulu nga katandise. Kyetumusaba kyokka. Ekyokubiri, twarabye paramenti ya European Union nga eyogera ku akalulu kaffe kozi bali bagamba akalulu kagenda bulungi. Ffe tusaba kozi balina bano ba observers akalulu kagenda mu ddembe. Tumyaze emyaka nga kaga mwenda nga tulina internal democracy nga bakuba akalulu every 5 years nga myaka 5 gyeweddewo. So tusaba abavubuka ku Lwokusatu olwa wiiki ejja mujje mutweyungeko, tujja kugendesa ebigero kuva wano mpaka embassy eya European Union. Ate tubasaba tujja kufuna ekiwandiiko kuva wa IGP leero, then webatukiriza tugenda kucommunicatinga kama gumena mu Organda ruganye
ono atuwemu ono atuwemu oli kumite twagala mugamba okuauditinga NRM twajagala lwe specific kubanga waliwo directorates nyingi, waliwo treasurer, waliwo director of finance. Ochegeera kubona ni gwa auditinga ochegeera bagala mubeere twagala mubeere sala ku nsonga eyo tulabe be specific.
Amanya nze Ivan elanga nze okwogera ku nsonga za NRM Secretariat. Nga bannange bwe babagambye nti babadde basaba President Museveni asindike omuntu asobola okukola audit ku NRM Secretariat Directorate. Wano kye twogerako kiri nti ku NRM bafuna ssente nga bagenda mu kalulu zaali 10 billion obuwumbi 10 era nga tugenda okukuba akalulu previous day ekiro ekyo still baddamu ne bafuna obuwumbi 10. Naye kati kye twebuuza lwaki lwe twamaze akalulu abantu ne bagenda okubanja tebasasulwa ssente zaabwe zaalagawa. Kati shobola kweyo ensonga tutuuse wano nga ffe abavubuka ba NRM Youth Cadres nga tusaba President Museveni nti asindike an auditor agende ku kitebe auditinge National Treasurer oyo yakulira ebyensimbi ku NRM Secretariat, auditinge Director of Finance oyo yaddirira ku yakulira ebyensimbi, agende ne mu office ya secretary general kubanga secretary general yakulira ekitebe ekyo na yamubuuze nti sente zino ne zino zalagawa. Era bwe tuva ku secretary general kati tudde ne mu directorate endala nga directorate of youth and institutions kuba bangi bavuddeyo nti eyo directorate tebasasula kyokka nga amanya gabwe gali mu lists nga bannange babagambye. Era President Museveni womanyi nti kituufu ofiirwa Bannayuganda nga bw'oyogera nti ofiirwa Bannayuganda abavubuka envuumuulo tubadde tusaba nti abaana abo be baagana osasula nga bali mu kalulu abatambula campaign ku campaign ogende ku NRM Secretariat osindike auditor akeberemu ezo ensonga sente zaabwe zalagawa bazikozesa kuzimba bizimbe nga bwe tuwulira oba zikyali awo ku Secretariat bazitadde mu nsawo zaabwe baagala okuzisikatira bazitwale bazirye. Era ku nsonga endala ku kyabavubuka obutabeera na mirimu President Museveni sente z'osindika mu bavubuka ezisinga tezituuka kyova ne PDM n'emyoga eyo 1 million gyotera basindikira bano abasajja abakukolera balugezigezi nnyo nti baziyisa mu bifo ebitategerekeka million gy'osindi sente etuuke ku bavubuka tebatuukako lwaki baziyisa mu bintu ebitategerekeka n'osanga omuntu alina okufuna million afunye emitwalo 645 nga gweri waggulu bakuwa accountability ya 1 million kyovula President Museveni waliwo ebintu by'otamanyi naye nga ffe abavubuka ba NRM Youth Cadres tuvuddeyo ne tukusaba nti ezo ensonga ziteekeko eriiso George kuba ezo ensonga ze zigenda okutuusa ku enkya etwagala okulagako nga Bannayuganda. Nsiimye nnyo sigadde nze
aka audit kozemu mu audit aka audit katuwe mu luzungu specifically aka audit.
Thank you. It is on that matter that we as the NRM Youth Cadres we request that through the party chairman, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, we request that you send an auditor to audit the offices of the NRM Secretariat, because we should reflect the discipline of the bush that you went into 1986, not the impunity that people are sitting on at the NRM Secretariat. What are we talking about? We have valid lists where youth have been allocated and given their money. For example, Ivan Mujiche, you've been given 1 million because of a certain activity. But even though those lists are out, people have sat on our money, ate our money for so many years that I don't want to talk about. I am speaking on behalf of 1 million Ugandans who are like me. It is on that note that we request His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni send an auditor to the NRM party headquarters. That is the National Treasurer, Director of Finance, Secretary General, Directorate of Youth and Institutions, Directorate of Political Affairs, and all other directorates. Let them present to you a clear audit with vivid papers and clear signatures of people signing for their money. If that fails, we as the youth of this country shall wake up and we bring such lists where we have not received our money for almost 10 months, and we shall ask who has that money. Is that money in their pockets? Are they planning to construct mansions, buy cars? And if at all that is what they want to do, why was that money given to us and we didn't receive it? I beg to submit. Ebbula ly'emirimu mu Luganda nga njogera ku bbula ly'emirimu President Museveni ogezezzaako nnyo nti abavubuka bano bafune emirimu era bakole, naye kyenjagala okutuusaako nti ebintu byonna byogezaako nti abavubuka bafune emirimu ebyo ebintu tebibatuukako. Njogedde ku nsonga ya PDM, njogedde ku nsonga y'emyoga, njogedde ku nsonga z'essente eza Youth Livelihood Fund zootera osindika mu bavubuka nga nkugamba nti zino sente tezibatuukako, era ne bwe ziba nga zibatuuseeko miliyoni gy'osindise nti miliyoni tebatuukako. Lwaki? Bano abasajja abakukolera wano wansi sente bazidivertinga ne baziyisa mu nkola endala enkyamu, nosanga nga kadde koosindise tekabatuuseeko bafunye emitwalo 45, 32 oba gumu kakaaga. Ebyo bye njogerako bya mazima nti mu disitulikiti nga Ibanda abazadde baffe tebafuna miliyoni, bafuna mitwalo 45, 12, 13. Kukakadde abantu bano banyigirizibwa nnyo, naye lwakuba tebalina wakwogerera tebafuna chance ya kutuukako. Kati ngaffe abavubuka ba NRM kuba ekibiina kyaffe twagala tukifiiririre. Kino ekibiina kyatandika mu 1986 nga kirina emitendera gye kigoberera. Ku mitendera egyo waliyo accountability ne transparency byalagawa. Era President Museveni tubadde tusaba nti ensonga ezo oziteekeko eriiso George. Webale.
Kakati obubbi bw'ensimbi obwalabikira mu kalulu bulabisiza butya ekibiina kyammwe eri abantu?
Kati ku bubbi bw'ensimbi obwalabika mu kalulu, obubbi bw'ensimbi obwo butadde ekibiina kyaffe ku nninga oba bukiwadde erinnya ebbi nti lwa nsonga buno bubbi bw'ensimbi tetusobola kugamba nti tebuliiwo. Buno bubbi bw'ensimbi je buli era nga weebuli kuba nange ayogera sente zange saazifuna President Museveni ze yampa lwakuba nali ku campaign sente zaffe baazibba era kyovula kati nze nganze omunakibiina nga banzibako sente zange nange ekibiina njagenda nga nkivumirira nti batubba sente zaffe ffe ab'ekibiina era kyovula mbadde mpita President Museveni nti ekibiina bwe kibanga kyakulongoosebwa tandikira ku NRM Secretariat webale nnyo.
Omukyala wabadde wesiswado nakyogamba kale kayogere tumalize ekiseko wansi
asooka yeyambule
erinnya bampa Anne Kabazaale nange ndi youth kadda ensonga zange nze ziri bbiri ate muzeeyi nze nsaba okuzuwuliriza kubanga as a youth kadda natambula all rallies nemobilizinga nentambula okuva wetandika mpaka nomale nakasongo ebusongola south naliwo netujja netumaliriza rali zonna nga nefacilitatinga saafuna yadde n'ekikumi paka nekakati sifunangako n'ekikumi naye omuntu nkawa NRM kinduma kubanga ogenda noddayo ewaka ne bakubuuza wagenda mu mobilization ya muzeeyi wajjamu ki oli wa NRM ofunyemu ki mwotambudde kiki kyojjeeyo ng'amazima amatuufu olaba kikuluma abataatambulanga nga bali mu mayumba gaabwe beebase tebanoonya kalulu ko muzeeyi nga beebase balya bulungi basula mu gundi ennungi bafunyemu kalulu nze nanoonya akaluluko nenkakuuma era newaffe we nakakuumira entebe batirawo abantu babiri baafa naye nze nali agenti wo nanoonya akaluluko nenkakuba nenkakuuma naye saafunanga yadde n'ekikumi muzeeyi ekyokubiri corruption sente baziwa abantu baabwe tosobola kuleka omuntu akoze akola ekibiina kye n'oziwa oli kiriina n'oziwa driver n'oziwaani naye nga ffe abaana abato abaagala ekibiina kyabwe abakyakikolera n'okwewaayo muzeeyi tetulina kye tufunyemu naye lwakuba ffe tukwagala ng'omuzadde waffe tumanyi ogenda kutukolako bulungi kuba tukwesiga ensonga endala PDM nze nyinza n'okutwala ku bantu ewaffe mu kyalo neneetebe newuwa egyenva baafuna emitwalo 6 bakugamba miliyoni naye tezibeerayo ekirala muzeeyi kusaba owuliriza abaana b'amawulire tebaafuna sente abamu muzeeyi bewakolako lwaki tula abasinga tebaali b'amawulire abaana bali wano mu Kampala bakaaba ate bakwata amawulire buli wamu naye lisite zaatuuka eyo abasinga baali ba mikwano gyaffe omukubira akasimu jangu onsange wano tufune sente ngenda kutemera muzeeyi enseke zibadde enseke tukusaba okole ku baana b'amawulire n'abaana banekundira bakola mobilization yo bakaaba tebalina we batandikira muzeeyi kiruma ffe ng'abazzukulu bo kitulumye nze nga nze kindumira ddala kinuma n'abalala bwe batyo bali wano bali stranded abaana bateekamu sente zaabwe n'abantu bonna abatakola mobilization yadde be bafunyemu muzeeyi tukusaba muzeeyi otuyambe abavubuka naffe twagenda mu mobilization tuba tugenda kujja mu City Capital naye tetwafuna muzeeyi abatakola bafunyemu ebizimbe be bavuze emmotoka be bakoze buli kimu naye abaakola tetugjeemu yadde ebyange byeyo muzeeyi kusaba okole ku ffe eyansa neyansa
muwage
twagala ng'oyogera
abasa
senior
nange bannamawulire temukayana